Hi and welcome to my little video diary for day 8 of the Lexical Lab 2018 Summer School. Today I've been working on the Teaching Lexically course, and actually today and yesterday we've been looking at ways of rethinking what we do when we're teaching grammar. And there's quite an interesting kind of concept that I think has somehow attached itself to the idea of more lexical perspectives on teaching and teaching grammar. And that is that somehow, if you're a lexically oriented teacher, you don't teach grammar or you're not interested in teaching grammar. And I've always found this strange because for me, I think actually I teach grammar much better than I used to teach grammar. And as a writer, I think Andrew and myself with the Outcome series and with things like perspectives, we deal with grammar much more coherently and sort of sensibly than the way a lot of course books deal with grammar. I think one of the traditional problems with the way in which grammar is dealt with in a lot of teaching and a lot of course books is that we treat structures in isolation. So you get sort of strange artificial dialogues like, where are you going to go for your holidays? We're going to go to Finland. No, you're not. You're not going to go to Finland. We're going to change your holiday. We're going to send you to Florida. Woohoo! We're not going to go to Finland. We're going to go to Florida. And these dialogues are obviously specifically scripted to include as many examples, first person, second person, third person, positive, negative, question forms of a particular grammar structure as they can. And that grammar structure is practiced intensively, it's explored intensively. You look at ways of asking and answering grammar questions using the same tense. And then it vanishes and it doesn't reappear within the material, again, because the focus in the next unit will be on a different kind of structure. An additional problem to this is the fact that a lot of the time the way in which vocabulary is treated in course books is in terms of isolated words or isolated phrases, of which the meaning has to be unpacked or explored. And they're basically just treated in terms of meaning a lot of the time, rather than as items which need to be grammaticalized, which learners need to see in action, interacting with other words and with other bits of grammar. So there's that missed opportunity to recycle and revisit and re-expose students to grammatical structures that they've studied before. As a more lexically oriented teacher, where I'm primarily interested in helping students to see how conversations work and helping students to learn sufficient grammar to help them have particular kinds of conversations, what becomes very obvious is that looking at grammar in isolation, in separate little blocks like this, isn't very helpful. If you just take a basic conversation like, what are you doing tonight? These kind of conversations are rarely taught in course books because we obsess about teaching the present continuous for started but not finished at the moment. And so we have lots of lessons about she is washing her hair, I am riding a bicycle, we are not talking, we are sleeping, these kinds of things. What you don't get is, what are you doing tonight? I'm meeting a friend, I'm going shopping, I'm going to a party, I'm just going to go home and sleep. I'm just going to go home and take it easy. And I think one of the reasons we don't get those kind of conversations is because they involve a range of different tenses interacting. If you just think about those conversations as conversations and you think about the grammar teaching and grammar learning that occurs within those conversations as being sufficient for students to have those particular communications, it doesn't yet matter that they can't do everything with the structure. In fact, a lot of the ways you learn to do things with structures that you've studied the form and meaning of is actually to learn how those structures lexicalize. So, you can learn the present continuous as much as you want. It won't help you say things like, he's always undermining my confidence, or they're denying him access to a lawyer. To be able to produce that kind of grammatically, elementary grammatically but linguistically sophisticated kind of output, you need to be exposed to how the grammar interacts with vocabulary. And for me, that's what lexical teaching does.